did you get a chance to take a look at members of the delegation? And I'm not talking about members of his administration. I'm talking about
Yeah, right.
members of the business class who kind of travel with Trump, because I believe that the people Trump travels with kind of tells you the
Right.
vision that he has for that mission. Before I kind of get into telling you what I found, were you able to take a
I
look and see
I skimmed,
who's going?
yeah, I skimmed through the ones that jumped out at me, and I wasn't any surprise. The Tim Cook of Apple, there were other, you know, um, technology CEOs, businessmen, but there are a lot of CEOs of major American companies
Mhm,
that were on Air Force One on the way to Beijing. So
mhm,
it tells me that these people are ready to make deals.
mhm,
They have an American agenda that they want to go and enforce. They want to open American markets to the Chinese, to Chinese goods and services, and they're going so, and they're going to be making demands on the Chinese as well that they have to open the market. So a lot of high level technology CEOs.
mhm.
That's what I think. Those were the majority of the group of the CEOs who went over there to China. I didn't go into details to find out who these people were, but
Uh,
at the administration, I don't know if you did.
yeah, I would add a few. So what I kind of realized from the list, again, just to add to what you said, CEOs of electric cars, so Tesla, Elon Musk, and
Mhm.
of course AI and technology companies, CEOs of investments and banking, aviation, aeronautics, and meat processing agro industry. So Elon Musk of Tesla, Tim Cooks of Apple, who are of course the electric cars, and of course technology. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang, who again, America has this embargoes on chips to China. Again, it wasn't Trump's. It was this embargo was placed when Biden was president.
Right.
When Trump came in, he kind of lifted the sanctions to a certain degree. But at this point, the Chinese government had directed the Chinese industries to not buy from Nvidia, but
Right.
instead to buy local, right? So I think he is on that trip so that they can kind of help address whatever differences they have and kind of open the Chinese market, or open themselves to the Chinese market. Hopefully, something comes out of there. And then investment companies, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, I mean, he's always there. These are people who manage trillions of dollars in investment. Blackstone Inc. CEO as well, Citigroup, so banking, Goldman Sachs, Boeing CEO Kelly Odberg, again, aeronautics. And then another and not really important one is Cargill CEO. You know Cargill?
No,
I
not
think
really.
did they, unless I'm mistaken, I think they do agro and meat processing.
Processing, yeah, and yeah,
Yeah. So again, America is, of course, a big producer of beef.
yeah,
Again, during Biden's term, uh, with the tension that America and China had, China is doing a lot of its sourcing for agricultural products from Brazil and the other Latin American countries, and less from the United States. So I get the feeling that this too is a sticking point for Trump. Again, they want to open the American agro industry to the Chinese markets, right? So we have that, and then Meta platform president and another technology. So it kind of breaks it down. It tells you clearly what Donald Trump hopes to achieve on this trip. And for me, it's not members of his administration that he's traveling with that is important. It is the people who are outside his administration
right.
that tells you what that mission is all about. And I think this mission is all about business. How can we open ourselves to each other? How can we make things work between us? I'm sure we're going to talk about some of the embargoes and restrictions, because there are a couple of items that I kind of wanted to mention. But I thought it made sense to kind of look at the delegation that Donald Trump traveled with to
Um,
to China.
Right. And I mean, members of the administration are obviously going to travel
Of course.
to have the Secretary of State, the Secretary of War. So there's going to be bilateral government relationship and discussions with government military. I think there's going to talk about military power and how they can exchange ideas and stuff like that. So yeah, like you said earlier, for me, this is two world powers that are saying, you know what, we can work together. I mean, we have different philosophies, we have different places that we want to take our people to, but we can work together. We're going to disagree vehemently on many things, but let's focus on the things that we agree on and try to maximize um, 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 resources so that we can be a win-win situation. So, if nothing comes out of this, which is very unlikely, it is still, it shapes the relationship between two world powers in attention in a different way. Like we disagree and we can put those aside and focus on the things that we agree. I think that's a new direction that people can learn from. Not just highlighting where we disagree on other stuff.